Imagine you wake up. The first thing you notice is the silence. Not a peaceful quiet, but a thick, heavy silence that presses against your ears. Then, the smell hits you, cold, damp earth, ancient and suffocating. And the weight, it's not just on you. It feels like it's inside you, pressing on your ribs, flattening your lungs. You can't move your arms. You can't kick your legs. You're trapped in a perfect six-sided prison of darkness. Your heart isn't just beating. It's trying to hammer its way out of your chest. This is the moment that defines everything. Panic is not your friend. It's a screaming demon that will burn through your precious oxygen in minutes. The air is already stale, tasting of soil and decay. You have one job and one job only. Outlast the panic. So here's what you do. Step 1. Conserve everything. Do not scream. Not yet. A scream is a violent act. It wastes oxygen and fills your lungs with dust. Instead, breathe. In through your nose, slow, shallow sips. Out through your mouth. Make each breath count. Your brain is screaming for more air, but you have to convince it to take less. This is your first battle. Step 2. Assess your tomb. You can't see, so you must feel. Without thrashing around, try to sense your confines. Are you in a coffin? Feel for a satin lining, a smooth wooden lid just inches from your face. This is both good and bad. A coffin means a defined space and maybe an air pocket. But it also means you're buried deep. Or are you in rubble? Can you feel broken concrete, twisted metal, the rough texture of collapsed earth? This is more dangerous, but it might offer more room to move. Step 3. Find the top. This sounds strange, but spit. A tiny, delicate spit straight up from your lips. Listen. You won't hear it land, but you might feel the faintest mist fall back on your face. This tells you the lid or the earth is very close. If you feel nothing, the space above you might be larger. This small piece of information is critical for your next move. Step 4. Create space. This is where patience is key. If you're in a coffin and your hands are near your chest, slowly push upwards on the lid. Your goal isn't to break it, that's probably impossible. Your goal is to create just a millimeter of space where your knuckles can press. This tiny microchamber can become a vital air pocket. If you're in rubble, try to shift one limb, an inch at a time, to create a small cavity near your face. Move like the hand of a clock, not a piston. Every movement must be deliberate and minimal. Step 5. Signal strategically. Now you can make some noise, but don't scream continuously. The earth is a superb sound insulator. Instead, use the heel of your shoe or a knuckle to knock rhythmically on whatever is trapping you. 3 sharp knocks. A pause. 3 more. This is the universal distress signal. It travels through solids much better than a muffled voice. And in between your knocks, listen. Listen with every fiber of your being. Do you hear machinery? Distant voices? Rain? Any sound from the outside world is a compass point, a sign of hope. Step 6 is the mental battle. This is the hardest part. The darkness will start to talk to you. It will tell you you're already dead. It will whisper that no one is coming. This is when you must anchor yourself in a memory. The feel of the sun on your skin, the taste of a cold drink on a hot day, the specific sound of someone's laugh. Play that memory on a loop in your mind. Your body is trapped, but your mind can be on a beach, in a garden, anywhere but here. This isn't giving up. It's preserving the will to live that your body needs to keep functioning. Step 7. The long wait. You've done all you can physically do. Now you must be still. Conserve your energy. Conserve your air. Let your heart rate settle into a slow, hibernating thump. People have survived this. It's not just a horror movie trope. They are proof that it is possible. You're not the first to face this. You've just joined a club of the unluckiest and most stubborn people on earth. Your only job now is to wait. To listen for the scrape of a shovel, the bark of a rescue dog, the vibration of life returning from above you. The fear of being buried alive is called taphophobia, and it's an ancient fear. For centuries, people were buried with bells in their coffins, connected by a string to their hand. If they woke up, they could ring it for help. You don't have a bell. Your breath, your heartbeat, your stubborn, ticking mind, these are your bells. You have to ring them slowly. Make them ring for as long as you possibly can. The dirt is just dirt. The dark is just dark, but you are a universe of memory, of will, of fought for breath. You are louder than the silence. You just have to prove it one tiny, agonizing sip of air at a time. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay curious.